A little mea culpa. Earlier today, this whole week has been a little bit of a challenge. Man, people will come to you and bring you some negative shit. And that's what I wanted to do. So this morning I got on a call after getting a bunch of emails from somebody else. And, when it piles on, you sometimes say things. And that's why I was like, man, get on. And the call was about something completely different, but they were talking about some leaders who weren't supporting them, and that was the real challenge that I hit. I was like, those aren't leaders. And I said that. Man, gut, 100% emotion. Anybody who knows me knows there's a little emotion with what I do and what I say. But let me give you a little backstory on this. Um, I think everybody's a leader, truthfully, right? You could be a leader. Once you raise your hand to say, I'm a leader, what type of leader you're going to be, that's a little bit different. And that's where the power comes in. I can't tell you where your leadership comes from or how you want to lead, right? Everybody talks, uses metaphors about, I'm going to take you up the mountain. Well, there's a lot of paths up the mountain. You could take me up the deepest, darkest path, and I might get to the top of the mountain for sure. But how am I doing it? Leaders, I just want you to be authentic. And that's why I was like, I'm going to put a mea culpa on me. I own my shit. I own when I get a little emotional. I get that I'm not feeling that well today. I am healthy. It's not the heart thing. It's just a coldish. Um, but that had nothing to do with it. It's my emotions, man. I know what it is. So there are some leaders out there today who are doing some things, creating legacy. And that's where I started talking about it. And that's where my knee jerk reaction, you know, that's what they're really doing is sometimes we have those knee jerk reactions, but then we have to kind of take that breath. And a leader actually will say, mea culpa, man. I did it. I own it. So I did it. I apologize to those leaders who I said it for a second. They weren't leaders. They are leaders. They're gathering somebody, they're connecting people, they're doing some stuff. But I do have some objections to it for a bunch of reasons. And this is where we're going to start talking about the Monday runways. So this is not a lead up, but it's going to be a call to action. There's lots of leaders out there. And what are they doing? Are they leading you, or are you just following because they said I'm a leader? That's the question I want to ask. And, I've done that before, and I'm always the guy who speaks up. I mean, anybody who's worked with me has heard me say, man, you just say what needs to be said. Yeah, sometimes that's good, sometimes that's not so good. But today, I just want to say I apologize to those leaders who are creating a legacy event, or at least what they're calling as a legacy event. And none of that is inaccurate. But I am fully whole is when you're doing something, where's my ROI? Just saying I'm in a book, just saying I'm a Amazon bestseller. Now, I'm going to tell you a little secret. Does that really matter? How many times you wrote 1,500 words? How many times did you put a stand? That's what a leader to me is taking a stand. And I might lose a lot of friends after this. That's all right, man. The right ones are going to stay. There's people who talk to me about, man, you always support, some groups like, the Unleashed, right? I always talk about the Unleashed, right? The blue and green. Why do you talk about them? They're real. Michael is one of the things he's going to tell me is some real stuff. It's either going to be good or it's not going to be good a lot of times. It's going to be gut punches. I don't want just Oreos, man. Oreos got me into unhealthy conditions, got me to a lot of places. And I'm not that type of leader. I've always been the guy, I'm okay with being the backup guy, the guy who's going to say something, who's going to support and really walk you through it. It's not just being in the right rooms, it's teaching the right lessons. That's why Jeremy Howell's another one of those people that I really admire. Is he not only talks about the things he does this, and this is not a call, but this is my apologies to the three men who are creating the legacy event today. I didn't use any names before, so I'm not going to use any names now. But it is my fault. Did I say that they weren't leaders for 1 second of my life? 100%. Guilty as charged. And that's what a mea culpa is. When you know, when you're a leader and you know you made a mistake, man. Okay, but let me give you some backstory to that. Well, there was a backstory is that the past week I was going to invest with somebody who I said, hey, just I'll give you a deposit. Let's go get it. It'll get done. Since that point, the man has emailed me multiple times. I'm talking about double digits. We have yet to get to triple digits, even with all the texts, calling me names, drama queen, that I don't like the language he's using, and things like that. And I said, we're going to stop. A leader also knows what to do for himself. And that's what I want you to do is work with the people you think you're going to work with. You think I'm a good person to work with? Great. You don't, that's okay. I love you anyway. And that's what it is. Want everybody to succeed. Everybody is a leader. Create your legacy the way that you want. And that's really it. So I do hope people show up for the Monday runways because you're going to learn how to write a book, talk about speaking in a way, and it's free. I'm not asking you to start investing with me until you get to know who I am, flawed and all. But man, it's all worth it. So that's the end of this. And just want to say I apologize. I apologize. And I hope everybody there gets their world record, gets their fame and what they need for their legacy. My legacy is completely different, man. I'm either going to stand up and be who I am. This last night I was with, I guess maybe I'm not going to end it because I don't know how to end things. Um, Last night I was at an event. We named a ballpark for a man, James Riley, man who just wants to play ball. Man, that's exactly what I want to do. I just want to play. I just want to help people. I do that every day. And really, what that goes into is a bigger story. And the bigger story is that man created a ball field, but then he also created a charity and helped raise hundreds of thousands of dollars to help other people. Everybody knows I'm part of stuff like that. That's the real legacy that I want to leave is when they think about it. Yeah, he had a big mouth. Yep, guilty as charged. But nobody can question my heart. Nobody gets that choice because nobody knows what I know and the things that I've done and the things that I can do for everybody else. Man, I love my people. Everybody knows that. Nobody has any questions. I might, even one of the I spoke to, I think, a couple of people this weekend, and because people come after you, they start hearing, "Oh, Dave, I know how you feel." I'm like, "No, you don't know how I feel." They're like, "Oh, you're talking. Why are you talking shit about other people?" I'm like, "I'm not. I'm just talking about you don't need badges. You don't need all those things. That's not trying to demean anybody because everybody does what they want. Again, you can get up your hill, you can get up your mountain, you can get wherever you want to do, rocket, fly out of your ashes. Just depends on how you do it. I'm going to do it by giving real impact to people. When I walk in a room, not everybody likes me. That means I must be doing something right. And yeah, I speak a little bit out of turn and it might not lose me business, it might lose me friends. But the friends that know me and the business deals that I get involved in, that's my heart. And that doesn't stop. Wish you all have a great day. I love you and have a great day.